we just literally just want to get into it, man. How you been? How you doing? Lockdown, everything, man. How you keeping?
My brother, lockdown turned me into a TikToker. I wasn't going to join TikTok. I thought we was going to join, but when I got too bored of studying and being at home, I decided to enter TikTok. So that helped my sanity a little bit. And then football came back only for... what happened yesterday. But
I've been seeing your videos, man. You've been entertaining us.
Everything give thanks to God. You understand?
Amen. I've been seeing your videos, though, man. You've been entertaining us, bro. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, all them Nigerian celebrations and that.
What can we do? Some of these ideas are actually not original to me. I see them, and that's the beauty of TikTok. You can recreate them. So I try to do the African version of things because we cannot left out, you understand? So, or the Nigerian version of things. So it's been going okay. It's been going okay. It's helping my stats as a brand as well. So it's good. It's good. I mean, the other day, client was asking for my Twitter impressions, and I'm like,
wow.
TikTok has helped it to come up a little bit,
That's good.
You're helping people that are in lockdown and different things happening around the world, the Black Lives Matter movement and everything. Just helping people, relax as well with these videos. So it's been good.
Yeah, I love to hear that, man. But let's get straight into it. Why not? You know what we're going to talk about. We're going to go straight into Arsenal. Yesterday, if you didn't know already, we're Arsenal fans as well. So yesterday was obviously quite a disappointing game for us. We felt it with me. We felt that one. But before we actually get into that game, how do you think Arsenal's season has been so far, like before lockdown?
We obviously started poorly, and then Arteta came on and steadied the ship a little bit, and we had some momentum, and then COVID obviously spotted. So I thought that you can always see, as a football person, you can see what Arteta is trying to do, and he's a football guy as well. But it's just that yesterday was there was a car crash. I don't know what happened, and obviously. When your game plan is already out of the window after the first 5 minutes with the injury to Xhaka, who is arguably one of our most important players. That's the reason why, I don't even get on any players back. Even when the whole captaincy thing happened, if you saw my criticism of the whole situation, was very, very measured, because as a human being, I understood his reaction, although it was a wrong reaction. You understand? So, and I knew his importance. Every manager that has come has played him. Every manager. There's a reason for that. Same with, I don't want to call this person's name, same with Iwobi. Every manager that came to Arsenal, he's played under 2 managers, but the second manager also gave me a new contract. They have their importance in the squad. It's not all about scoring goals. They are important with the transition play, link-up play, even if they're just in the field just to do dummies and dummy a player out at great space. They are doing something. But people do not understand these things. That's what I noticed, that a lot of people don't know football, I'm sorry. A lot of them, even those that claim that they know football, don't know jack. They don't know why Mari started.
It's amazing.
Transition play, patterns in the game. They don't know shit. Sorry, I'm sorry, I don't swear normally. But when you ask them, Alexander Lem, they're like, great player. He did well for us, but he scored only 4 goals for Arsenal. And had like 4 or 5 assists in his 3 years in Arsenal. And they were like, I said, no, that's not all about football.
Yeah.
You understand? But when he moves, he's creating space, he's doing stuff on the field for his teammates to take the glory. That's the kind of player that, and Iwobi is, he might not, yes, he will see an open goal and Iwobi might miss it, Seth. I will tell you that one. I'm one of his. I love him, he's my brother, and he discusses and he knows that I need to improve my scoring. But you cannot take away the hard work of such a player, the directness of such a player. When you're under the coach like we were yesterday in the second half, you need somebody legs to bring the ball out. And the person must be physical as well as have legs. He has it.
Yeah.
So I keep telling them, for instance, I know I've divided into Iwobi too. Iwobi was not sold for footballing reasons. It was sold for money reasons. We don't have money. And now, and I've been saying, obviously, I'm close to the family. I know the ins and outs that I cannot reveal, but I knew when he left, I knew that he was not supposed to go. I knew that, for instance, that it was his dad that cleared his locker because he was not supposed to go.
I think it's interesting because we've actually got, we know Iwobi is close to your heart as a person. Yeah, so we've actually got a part to even talk about it in the interview as well.
Not necessarily, I mean, it's football, any player can go and everything, but I knew his importance in the team, of which one or two of the players in the current squad have also confirmed it. He might not take the headlines, he's the scapegoat, but he's working hard. Trent Alexander-Arnold will fear him to come close to him. Why? Because he was killing. We go to Anfield, we lose 5-1. Who turns up? Iwobi. We go to Azerbaijan, Europa League final, we lose 4-1. Who turns up? Iwobi. That's supposed to ring one or two bells and say, okay, this guy is not that bad. Yes, he needs to improve his finishing. Maybe he's not really a goal scorer. Yeah, but, he's not that bad. But no, they just hate it. I'm thinking, what are you guys watching? Until you get an improvement in such a player, you don't sell him. Until you improve other side, we have bought Pepe. But did you actually need Pepe at the time we bought him? No. He's not a bad player. He will improve the squad, yes. Is it priority? No. Is Partey a priority now? No, in my opinion. We have people that can cover at the moment. When you look at it, you have to look at the balance. You have to look at the money we have. If we have money to spend, then buy all of them. They're all important. But when you don't have money, it's like when you're going to buy something in the store and you know you have £5. What you want to buy is £10. I time that's okay, so it's not too important. This one I can't wait. I can manage. That's how it's done. Not going to friendly agents and saying, "I give us this guy and I give us this guy." With that. No. We need to sort out the defense. We cannot hope on a 19-year-old to save us next season. And the 19-year-old is not the fittest of all players. He's always injured. He was always injured in France. So we're still in the same problem. So when I keep hearing Partey, yes, I'm happy. My brother, a Ghanaian brother, is coming to the Premier League. It's good for Africa, good for African football.
I'll second that.
Flip side, I'm looking at it like, okay, Paul, is he number one priority? His priority, in a way, is important that we have somebody. But is he number one priority? No. Do I want a player that will come in from a different league, maybe take time to mature into the position? Maybe. I say maybe because some of them don't hit the ground running when they come from abroad. And if that player is suspect, then what happens to my defense that is not being improved? So I think about these things and I'm thinking, who's making these decisions?
That's true.
When I used to defend Arsene Wenger and not curse him, and people thought, these are the things we were seeing. This brain book.
Think about it. It's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned Iwobi. As I said, as we go on with the interview, we've actually got a part to talk about him because I think it's very important that we actually
that's my blood
speak about Iwobi as well. And I know it hurt you. I think
I will not hurt me badly.
It hurt me too, bro. Don't worry, man. Yeah, first of all, I think we should just switch our attention a little bit to Aubameyang. I think, obviously, because of his whole contract situation, he's probably one player that everyone's looking at the moment. So the first question that we wanted to ask you about him is, how long do you actually think he has at Arsenal? And do you actually think he's going to sign?
I mean, I hope he does. Today's his birthday, so happy birthday, Aubameyang. But if he goes, I cannot blame him. I cannot hate him. I wish him well. I wish everybody well when they leave. Because when you look at it, you're trying to work hard. You're not even playing in your favored position, which is a striker. You're playing out left to accommodate the team. They're still not servicing you. And then you come out with so fewest touches in the game. And people say, oh my God, he went missing. No, but he wasn't being supplied. He's doing his best in an unfavored, unfamiliar position to track back and do one or two things for the team. But it's not his position. I cannot blame him. Two or three times in the game yesterday, he had opportunities to be played in. And with space in front of him, we know what he can do.
Yeah.
They didn't play him in. That's what we are talking about here. I want Aubameyang restored as a striker. I love Edin Ketia. I think he played well yesterday. He was one of our, good players yesterday. But he's not got that finishing yet of Aubameyang. I was not really happy when they recalled him from loan. No.
Okay.
He's playing under Marcelo Bielsa. Do you know who Marcelo Bielsa is? He's a don. Even Guardiola respects him. He's a don. Leeds United is I'm from Leeds, you know? Yes, I'm from Nigeria, but I'm from Leeds. That's my hometown. And I have a soft spot for my hometown club. I used to steward there when I was younger. Yeah, I did steward there. That my people. We love you, Leeds. Marching on together. You know the song.
You're a proper Leeds lad.
Well, you recall him, and I wanted him to win the championship with them, so you have that feeling of lifting a trophy. Do you know what that would do to his confidence? That's where he is it. Football too is about mentality, it's about the mental strength. And so apart from the physical and the ball playing abilities, you leave the kid. Let him stay there.
How important? Sorry, how important do you think it is that they do get the deal done? Because for me, Aubameyang doesn't only just get goals. He's such an influential player in the dressing room. Like, he brings so much life to the squad.
Exactly. The swag and the happiness and the positive vibes. That's why I rate Emmanuel Eboue for life. Because that positive vibe, that's why I rate like someone like an Ogu in the Nigerian national team. He might not start, but you see, he's about positive vibes in the team. So I get where you're coming from. He ticks most of the boxes. So I want him to stay. But man wants to win the Champions League. He's ambitious. So if you're not ambitious, let me go. The only reason he might not want to go is Arteta. Arteta has that convincing power, knows how to convince someone. You know, and you can see what he's trying to do. It's not his fault. He has inherited these players. He has to, make do with them. But yesterday was shambolic. It was really shambolic. And I don't want to get on the back of the player because I don't like to cost players. We're talking about mental health here. And that's why Prince Harry's charity, the Heads Up charity, these are the things they're trying to, solve. And, when a player plays badly and everybody's just on him, I tend to back off. And I tweeted yesterday to say, it's okay to criticize, but don't curse the man and abuse the man and abuse his family. Criticize constructively. And I told him to keep his head up. People make mistakes. But guess what? We have seen these mistakes even in Chelsea, even when he was in PSG. And we still bought him. Who signed it off? Who bought him? Still the same people. Do you understand? So we need to look at our recruitment process. You're an Arsenal fan. How many of our Arsenal last signings have really kicked on and succeeded? None.
It's hard to know.
And then somebody will come and blame Wenger tomorrow, blame Iwobi tomorrow. It doesn't work like that.
I think it's so interesting you say that, though, because Kelechi, if you could cast your mind back to the Olympiacos game, remember, it was a painful one for all of us. Aubameyang scores the goal, and then El Arabi goes to the other end and then kicks us out of the Europa League. But you see the way that some of the Arsenal fans reacted to it, calling Aubameyang rubbish, saying how can you miss from a few yards out, when this guy's literally been carrying the Arsenal team on his back for so long. Do you think that's what's wrong with the Arsenal fan base in general? Because it's like you can see that. You can see that.
Most of the Arsenal fan base do not know football. I cannot abuse Aubameyang. He can miss a chance last minute here. There's pressure. He tried to score. He didn't miss on purpose. Some of these things, someone misses on purpose, then it's different. He didn't miss on purpose. He thought the goal was there. He got his angles wrong. He missed. It happens to the best of them. Ronaldo lost in the final yesterday. Why didn't he score? He's one of the best players in the world. So, when you get on the player's back that has been carrying you throughout the season, scoring all your vital goals, he's going to look at it like, But there's some of us that support him. He knows. I've met him more than 3-4 times. And each time I meet him, he's always positive vibes. I met him when we lost to Leicester. Was it 3-0 in November? And I wasn't expecting to meet him, actually. Because I was in the box, in Kelechi Iheanacho's box. So I came down next to him. I'm like, seeing Arsenal players coming. I'm like, oh, Skipper. So I hugged him. I just posted the video today, too, for his birthday. And I hugged him. I'm like, don't worry, we've lost. I just tried to cheer him up. He told a journalist that I know that he was stunned by it because he thought I was going to come and, the usual Arsenal fan. Your shit, your this, your that. No, fam. I'm not like that. I will encourage you. It's hurting. You're earning more than me. The money you're earning, I might not earn it in my lifetime. But that doesn't mean I will give you hate or abuse. No.
Yeah.
I will support you because when you do well, I'm happy. And my body and every soul is so, okay, I'm happy. You understand? So it is a ripple effect. So you just give them positive energy. So if he wants to leave, I will understand it. 100%. Yeah, but that makes sense. If he wants to stay, Arsenal, pay him what he deserves. I'm paying him where he deserves to be played. Yeah. You understand? I'm a huge fan of Martinelli. I think he should be starting every game. Every game. Unless he's injured. Start every game.
That should have definitely started yesterday.
See, there's something that happens like you might see your younger brother doing something, you be ashamed, you just follow him and do the thing. You start working hard. If my younger brother can do this, it's embarrassing to me, I bet. So if somebody's working hard, you said you'll be forced to move out, you know. If Martinelli was there yesterday, I can bet you that one or two of those goals wouldn't have gone in. Do you know why? His press alone. Do you see how Edison was coming and launching those balls to then they will score?
Yeah.
That's where Martinelli comes in. He will run.
Energy.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at these things and you're thinking, okay, what is actually going on? What has actually done to get dropped? It's not about scoring or maybe he's missing goals. That's fine, but we need people to work hard. I'm done with all this caressing the ball and doing this and doing that. I'm done with that.
Definitely true. That's true. But I wanted to get back to the situation regarding Iwobi, because obviously he left last summer for £40 million. But I wanted to ask you whether you think he had a fair time at Arsenal. Do you think in terms of the amount of games he got and the amount of opportunity he got at Arsenal that he had a fair time to kind of showcase his skills?
Yeah, I think so. I think Arsenal was fair to him. Although last season there were some games I expected him to play that they benched him, and that's Unai Emery, being Unai Emery. Games like the Brighton or the Crystal Palace game, he should be playing. If we had one of those games, we would be in the Champions League. But the manager bottled it. And then you always bring him in the second half to rescue the situation because he's got that urgency. Why not start the kid? And then the kid came on in the Europa League final. How he didn't start in the Europa League final, I don't know. And he said it to me as well. Like, I don't know how I'm not started. And that's part of the anger. And when the opportunity came to go to Everton, kid had to bounce. One, the fans are giving him grief, abusing him up and down. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes. Kid had to bounce. Obviously, he's an Arsenal boy. He grew up in Arsenal. But he has to take care of himself as well. He could have said, okay, no, I'm not agreeing personal time. I want to fight for my place. But kid looked at the abuse. The only kid that turned up in the final, in the biggest game, all your massive signings and all your top earners didn't turn up. He created 3 chances and scored 1 goal in 23 minutes. 3 clear-cut chances, which you lot missed. And then you see some people say, oh, he's not good enough. He's done it on the biggest stage.
It's true.
What are you talking about?
So I think in terms of treatment, it's definitely there, because if you sort of like look at maybe Iwobi, as you said at the beginning as well, that he was developing as a player. And I think, a lot of the times, I do say the Arsenal fan base, I feel like they're quite spoiled. So they want a finished product rather than someone who's actually growing up. So in that aspect, then, do you think the case of, then them sort of like abusing Iwobi was because they sort of like put too much pressure on his back at the time?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to lie that it's not frustrating when you have a chance and you don't score. And if the chance is actually quite clear-cut and you miss, you scoff a shot. So I can understand the frustration. You understand? But as a football person, it happens in football. So you need to move on. And you need to look at other aspects of the game. Does he drag you guys out when you guys are under the cosh? Yes. Does he run at players? Yes. Does he beat his man? Yes. There's a few indecisions here and there, but those indecisions as well come from the abuse. So he's like, oh my God, if I do this and I miss it, I might get it. Then he's overthinking it and then he's missing it. And then he goes to Everton, first 2 games, he's scoring with his head 2 goals. And we ask him, yo, bro, Where is the goal coming from? With header, so you never head the ball. So, bro, I don't know. Get confidence, new environment. Nobody's joking.
A lot of people thought that Everton paying £40 million was a lot, and they were very surprised that they were willing to pay that amount. How do you feel about that?
Because they don't know football. Was worth it? Yes, of course. Even more than that, because they don't know football. They think football is all about. It's the most important stat. Goals, the most important one. But football is not about the goals. There are a lot of things involved in football. A lot. So they don't understand it. And there's the branding as well, the market value, the age. All that comes into play in the 40 million. Everton, the big got rejected once. They came back again with an improved offer because they wanted it.
Yeah.
You understand? They didn't go back. The transfer didn't actually drag. It got done in 2 days because they wanted that player. So, I mean, and then the people were the judge, I'm like, you guys thought he was the problem? Nah, fam. Nah, fam. Nah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, Arsenal fans are already spoiled. If they just hear a name and he's done well in one league, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to be the main nah. Not by expectations, you understand? And buy the right signings where you need them urgently. I just go sign every Tom, Dick, and Harry and then say, yeah, I made signings.
In terms of patience, though, it's true. So we just want to talk a little bit about Nicolas Pepe as well. Obviously, he's been there since the beginning of the season now. So we just wanted to, just get a quick evaluation of like his season so far. In terms of, obviously, I think we all know that he's shown a few glimpses here and there of what he can actually do. So what do you think of his season so far?
I mean, you said it all, a few glimpses, that's it. He's shown a few glimpses. He has potential, bag of potential. But again, it boils down to what I was saying about Thomas Partey as well. It's taking him time to settle, which is normal in football, which might also take Thomas Partey time to settle. Do we have that time to wait? Arsenal fans are notoriously impatient. So why not try for another Ndidi that knows the league, for instance? It won't take him time to settle. These are the things that come into play in these things. You understand? Nicolas Pepe, in games like the West Ham game, the Europa League goals, he's done really well. If you look at his stats, actually, they're not bad at all. Yeah, but again, could he have done more? Yes. But again, it's his first season. Does he hold on to the ball too much? Yes, in my opinion. Sometimes he doesn't. In fact, in that Olympiacos game, as much as he played well, I was also frustrated with him at some point. There was a time he dribbled a man 5 times, but he didn't beat the man. And then I'm asking, so what did you actually do with the ball? There was no, and then the strikers are already in position. So that quick transition, he's not got it yet. That he needs to learn in the English game. It's different from the French game. You can do all that in France, which is fine. But in England, you cannot do it.
So what do you think is missing from his game then? Do you think it's more than a confidence thing? Because for me, sometimes when I watch him, I feel like he lacks confidence.
He's got confidence. Nobody's on his back. He's got confidence. Nobody's on his back. It's just that he's overdoing a few things. A few of the tricks and all that stuff. Sometimes it's not needed. Just pass the ball and move. That's why at the time I was like, well, I know he is better than Nelson, but I think Nelson is a better team player.
Yeah. In
transition play. So Nelson might see the run and whip it. He might see the run, but decide to beat his marker and do 1 or 2 things. By that time, the guy is already offside. Do you understand? So by the time you do that, that's why you see in games when people don't understand why Mari is starting ahead of this person, you're thinking, no, I understand what the manager is thinking. He needs a left footer to play on the left side of centre back. Because of the transition game, because by the time your right footer is changing legs, they say you see the one on your left and you're changing to your right, you're already taking 1 or 2 seconds. Your striker is almost making a run. A lot of things come into play there. You understand? So when he's doing those dribbles, like I said, he's already offside. Aubameyang has already, he's holding. But we need a bit of quick transition. So that's why, that's one of the things he needs to learn. But overall, I think he's had an okay season. But again, the price tag is heavy. People will judge him based on the price tag.
Yeah. I think Pepe could have changed the game yesterday.
Come again?
Do you think Pepe could have changed the game yesterday against City? No. That's fair.
Because Saka didn't actually play badly, to be honest. I don't think it would have had any effect. And if I remember clearly, our away game at Chelsea, there was not much effect as well. So we were 10 men as well. So not judging it based on that. But I think the guy that played there in Saka did really well, and then was moved to left back as well when we had problems. So maybe we are resting him for other important games. So I don't know, but I don't know I don't think he would have made any much difference yesterday.
That's fair. Interesting. Just to end the video of Kelechi, it's been very insightful for us so far. But we've just got a little. I'm not too sure if you call it a quiz or a grading system. You know how Robbie does with the player ratings. So what we've decided to do is we've got a grade from grade A, obviously A being amazing and F being very, very bad. And we've got a list of African players that have played for Arsenal. So we're just going to shout out the player to you, and we just want you to grade the player for us. Do you think that's something?
So from A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yeah, all the way to F. So F being the worst, A being the best. So I'm going to start you off with this one. And the first player that we've got written down is Marouane Chamakh. That's a hard one, isn't it?
C minus, C or D, C minus, yeah. Because initially he started well. He started well. So I'm not going to put on a blind eye to that. So I'll say C, to be honest. He had let's say he had 2 seasons or had 1 season or whatever. He played half really well. And then Van Persie came back and then he retired to the bench and we never saw him. So I think he started well. So
he gave us that 7-5 as well at the Medeski.
So
that 7-5.
So A-E-F. So that's 6.
Do you feel like you're being harsh? B minus.
Yes,
C minus. You said B. Oh, C minus. Okay, C minus.
Yeah,
C minus. All right, we'll take C minus.
I'm thinking of a D though, but C minus.
C minus. Okay, cool. All right, the next one is someone that I thought did really well at Arsenal, but obviously I think he kind of upset a lot of Arsenal fans after his Arsenal career, and that's Emmanuel Adebayor.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm judging it based purely on footballing basis, then I'll give him a B. You know, I think he did. He did okay. You know, for footballing reasons. The other ones, he said so many things about the incident and all that. You know, but from footballing aspect, solid B, solid one.
Definitely. Another one that I think is very close to your heart, and you're gonna have to help us out with this one. I'm Ghanaian, you see. So, the player is
Auba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. But the player we've got here is Kanu, but you're just going to have to help us with the first name. Could you just give us a little tutorial? How do you say the first name? Wankwo.
Yeah.
One. Very simple. Okay, did I get it? I think I got it. Straight away. But that's the next player for you. Wankwo Kanu.
Yeah. Obviously.
Let's try to be biased. What was it? Because obviously I probably wasn't even alive when he was playing, me being 22 years of age. But what was it about him that really stood out for you?
I think his silky play. I mean, Wenger said the other day was his best January signing, best ever January signing. His silky play, his link-up play, everything. Henry said he loves playing with him. Because when he's there, he can do other things. So he knows how to connect, how to link up. He wasn't selfish. You know, obviously the game against Chelsea comes to mind as well, the 3-3. So he was a really, and he's an invincible as well. He's a great guy as well. Came back from the heart failure and really did well. So
yeah, awesome. So what grade would you give him? You said A.
Yeah.
An A.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. All right. So the next person, I think he'd probably grade him highly as well, and that's obviously someone that's currently playing for Arsenal now. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He's coming and straight away he can off the mark, man. What do you think he's our greatest African striker then? That one got him. He doesn't want to knock Cardi.
but I mean,
you can tell. It's a hard one.
It's hard. I mean, based purely on goals, then yes, the stats don't lie. But if I check it on trophies, then I have to say Kano. So it depends on the yardstick, But yeah.
All right, so the next player we have for you is, a lot of people don't know this as a first name, but Yao Kwasi Gervinho.
Gervinho, is that Cote d'Ivoire, not? Why is pronouncing it like he's Ghanaian? If that's his name,
Yao Kwasi. That's my native tongue, man. I don't think you can get rid of it. I can't get rid of it. You have to allow me on that one. Come on. But Gervinho is your next player.
I'll give Gervinho, and I don't want to be harsh on my boys, so, and I think Kamak was even better than Gervinho, to be honest, at some point. So a D, I guess.
A D for Gervinho. Yeah. Interesting. He's doing really well in Serie A now, though, isn't he? Yeah, for Parma, yeah. The
English game wasn't for him then.
True. All right, so the next one is someone that's close to your heart, obviously, Alex Iwobi. Obviously, a lot of people have mixed opinions about him, like we discussed before, but what grade would you give him?
I'll give him a B now. B. I can't give him A. I'll give him a B. I think he did okay. I think initially when he broke into the team, obviously, it was the rave of everyone. Even Sir Alex Ferguson was raving about him. He's there in the press. Even Wenger tried to make him play for England and not for Nigeria. I showed you how good he was. When the fans turned on him, especially after that party he attended, confidence was shot, innit? But for other aspects of the game that he's been doing, a B.
I think sometimes people do actually forget that he broke out at 18. And at the time, there was so much wrong with Arsenal as well. And he was like a breath of fresh air. But people always forget about that stuff. People just throw that stuff away.
Yeah, of course. I mean, after Wilshere, he was the next person to break into the team. And one good thing about him is that he didn't need to go on loan to break into the team. So he used to hurt people.
That's a good point.
So like Saka, Nigerian boys don't go on loan. We don't go on loan. You understand?
Come on.
Ghanaians need to break. Ghanaians like
they need to go on loan. I can't say that.
Ghanaians need to go on loan and then come back, go here. That kind of thing. We don't need to go on loan. We just break it up.
Yeah. A B is fair to be honest. I'd say a B is fair. But the next player we have is Ivorian centre-back Kolo Touré.
A. I mean, an invincible, played really well. In fact, he's an invincible even in Scotland. He really played well. A, straight up.
Brilliant. Another player that a lot of people have mixed opinions about, Mohamed El Neni. What would you give him? This is interesting, actually. Interesting. An E. Do you reckon he had any good games playing at Arsenal? That you can recall him playing like exceptional?
Apart from his first game or second game at Barcelona, where he scored? I can't recall anything. He's not that kind of player that I don't know if he's harsh though, but should I upgrade to a D? Maybe say D because
squad player.
He wasn't given many opportunities, but still on that, when you have a Neni, what does he do? Nothing. He just passes the ball safely. Safe 1, 2. I move it 1. That's it. So you wouldn't curse him because he doesn't lose the ball because he's a safe passer. But you curse at Iwobi, who is taking risk to carry the team along and drive the team forward, and he will lose the ball. Yeah. You are cursing him. See the difference? Big difference.
True. Very true.
If you watch the way he plays, contain, pass. Have you seen him ever venture forward?
It's a sideways passing with us, isn't it? It is very true. Right. Next player for you, A player that you literally spoke about earlier, actually, but that's Emmanuel Abue.
Fantastic squad player, did really well at right back, a human being. Dressing room harmony, he was top notch. Yeah, he makes me laugh every time. So I think he did all right.
Yeah. All right. And lastly, to me, I put him in there as an Arsenal legend, Lauren. Cameroon's Lauren. How do you feel about him?
Hey, straight up. Our steady right back for a very long time. Ran the show at right back. Scored some goals as well. Don't forget that he was converted from a right winger to right back, and did really well. I'm happy for him, what he has achieved as a legend and as an invisible. So, solid A.
As I said, Kelechi, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
No worries.
I hope you have a good evening as well.
No worries, guys. We'll see you in a while.
All right, take care, bro.
Take care.
We'll see you later.